Let's talk about the budget. Ooh, how exciting. We've got a Labor budget on Tuesday. I can't wait. What are they going to do to destroy the economy this time? Oh, by the way, you can't make a Mars bar in this country. It's too expensive. Mars have gone, oh, we can't afford the energy here. We can't afford the wages here. We can't do business here. We're going to go off to other countries around the world where we can make Mars bars. That is the reality of Labor's future made in Australia. It means a future disappearing, manufacturing disappearing from Australia. That's what this Labor government is doing, whether it's high-tech businesses, whether it's renewables businesses, they are going out of business. We'll get more of it on Tuesday.
But Rowan, it's called the Future Made in Australia Fund. How could what? The name doesn't match the actual reality. I'm shocked. This is an expansionary budget at a time where we don't need an expansionary budget, because the last thing we need is further inflationary pressure that's going to keep interest rates up. There's now talk that the next interest rate move is going to be up, not down. We were expecting 2 to 3, perhaps 4 cuts this year. I don't think anybody thinks that's going to happen now. So we've got people tightening their belts. The interest rate rises are definitely having an impact. Anyone who's buying a home or even renting, rents have gone up. So the people are tightening their belts, but the government is spending like drunken sailors and adding to that inflationary pressure. I just cannot understand why you would deliver this sort of budget in this current environment.
But what in anything they've ever done since Kevin Rudd was Prime Minister gives the Labor Party, in particular Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese, the ability to believe that they can pick successful businesses? They've never held a job in their lives. I mean, Anthony Albanese was a DJ spinning records or something or other. None of them have ever worked in a business. None of them have ever seen a spreadsheet. None of them ever had to sit there and actually make the numbers add up so that people get paid and people make a profit. They've never done it. And yet they're sitting there picking winners for the future industrialisation and manufacturing industries in this country. What a joke. This is a farce, James.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, the whole Future Made in Australia policy it's a nonsense. I mean, first of all, it's going to be one of these sort of off-books funds, so it doesn't wind up counting against the budget. You know, there's all these accounting tricks that they use. Yes. But beyond that, you know, manufacturing in Australia is a very tricky thing. And the thing is with Jim Chalmers is, I think that he is smart enough to know that he's got a problem here. He knows that what he's doing here, he's being forced to drive with one foot on the gas and the other foot on the brake here, because, you know...
I mean, he's not in an EV,
well, no, what he's doing, guys, is that he's got this situation where, on the one hand, he's got the net zero and Chris Bowen and everything, making everything more expensive, and that's driving up inflation. So then he's got to throw more money at that to counteract that, but then throwing more money into that creates more inflation, which creates more interest rate pressure. And at the same time, also, the other thing to watch, you know, they're going to just straight up lie to us about cutting immigration in this budget, because we know the last time they said, oh, well, it's going to come down to whatever, and it did not come down at all. It's at record highs. That's all pressure everywhere, which is another huge political problem for this government. But you know, this is the whole contradiction. The whole budget here is going to be absolutely filled with contradiction. A lot of people are going to fall for it. They're going to say, oh, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Most businesses fail in the private sector. When you add a public sector element onto it, which they're trying to do with manufacturing, it's ridiculous. We already have seen a foretaste of the silliness of this. You know, the quantum computer that they're going to pay $1 billion for, that's actually going to be owned by the Americans. Yeah, you know, we're going to build solar panels here when China's got the whole market with cheap labor, and they can do it for 1/10 the price, and the world is already slave labor, and and the whole world is flooded with solar panels. You know, these guys, the idea that these guys at Albo is essentially going to run a venture capital fund for manufacturing is absolutely hilarious.
It's ludicrous.
It is hilarious. And as Rowan said, you're not dealing with some genius business minds who've got a proven track record of success. You've got a bunch of unionists, lifetime politicians who were staffers. Yeah. Labour's socialist left faction is running the show, and they're going to be picking what's going to work in private enterprise?
Well, the reality, Rita and James, is the Australian public are wising up. I mean, let's not forget they only got 32%, 32.6% of the vote to begin with, so they were never wildly popular.